2 seconds.
So when the sun shines in Scotland, that's the place I long to be. Oh, when the sun shines in Scotland, that's the place I long to be. I'll spend my winters in the mountains, I'll spend my summers by the sea.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wee Jem Show. We're just doing a midday slot today, and it's Wednesday, isn't it? And we've got somebody in the studio that's involved in Independence, and he's one of our Independence live streamers. Welcome to Robert MacInnes. Hello, Robert. How are you?
Hello, Jem. How are you doing? Good to be here.
I'm good. It's a bit cold today. I'm freezing my ass off. So, how's your day been so far?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah. Were you at work this morning?
I was out this morning. Had an appointment this morning, and then I came home, had to help about the house, and then I had to get ready for the show today.
Okay, brilliant. So, Robert, you're a busy lad because you're working and you've got a craft and you do photography and all this. So, tell us, how did you get involved in Independence and photography and this?
Well, basically, you know that Gary and Stuart from Night on the Seal, they
Yes.
do the Independence Live stuff. And basically, they asked me to be a cameraman for them. So that's how I basically got involved. And then I got to know Kevin. When I first got involved, I had to speak to Kevin and all, and introduce myself and all that. So that's how I got involved. And then we got down to, I got my first march and rally in. That was exciting.
Where was your first one?
That I can't honestly remember, Jem.
Oh, come on, you're too young to get lose your memory. Come on.
Where it was. I think it was Glasgow.
Okay. Was that when we met you for the first time in Glasgow, I think?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct. And then forever since, for just basically now, I've been with Independence Live for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I've done my podcast with Fiona and Marlene.
Yes, indie podcasts.
Indie podcast, that was so good.
Yeah.
And then they're actually speaking to Kevin straight after that.
Yeah.
So that was quite handy. He was in just after me.
Aye.
So, and then basically that's how it took off.
Oh, that's brilliant. And you're a total natural, so you're all good on the air and everything. So tell us a bit about your photography, because you've got Robert MacInnes Photography.
Yes, I have. That's right, Jem. So I'm out on my own, and I've been going since 2020, and it's been pretty quiet so far. Well, last year it didn't take off at all. It was just bare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was really peeing me off.
Yeah.
And then I got an inquiry in to go and do a badminton competition, and that didn't come off either. I couldn't do it, so I had to then phone another photographer to go and do it.
Aye.
Which is one of my pals.
Okay.
So that was quite good. And he then went and done it, and I asked him how it all went at the end of the day, and it's just he's loving it.
Yeah.
So he's been doing it ever since. He's done it for me. So
well, this is the thing, it works well when people work in teams and
Aye.
combine resources, and you've got a little bit of a backup and everything. And Robert, just hang in there, because it's actually the people who have got staying power and literally weather
Yeah,
out.
that's it. That's all it is.
It takes a while to get a business up and running, and I'm so proud of you, because you're a young lad and you've getting involved and you're doing stuff. And just want to tell everyone we're going to be having another Scottish musician on the show, and he's based in, is it Seal? Eh?
I'm not sure where he is.
Yeah,
Is that
but
the guy
what's
from
the island
Goldman?
what's the island that Gary and Stuart's down at? Seal.
Seal.
Yeah, he's on Seal, and instead of me traveling down there and doing his music videos and that for him, I'm going to hand the work to Robert, and Robert's going to do music videos and do his live performances and all this. So we just a team all working together and
Working together. Yeah, that's
business
good.
and. Yeah, it's nice to do that. So I just encourage everybody, start working together and supporting Scottish businesses and young people. Let's get them. Young people are the future of Scotland.
Let's give the young people a chance to come in and basically see what they can get up to.
Yeah, we all long in the tooth, like.
Aye.
And,
yes.
We need to give these young people a hand. The chances that we never got is actually be mentors and literally get people involved. Give them a chance.
Give them a chance. That's why I'll come on to it in a wee bit about Independence Live, and what I said to the podcasters, Fiona and Marley. I'll come into that in a wee bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna put on a wee song. And it's one of Graham Dallas's songs. Graham Dallas is a Scottish musician, and he sings his songs under the name of Pepper Jock. So if you like his tunes, he's on Bandcamp, and you can download the tunes and listen to them. He's also on YouTube. But I'm just going to put on one of his tunes, and then we'll carry on talking to Robert. So I'm going to play a tune that's called Never Bring a Yoon Home. And this is really appropriate if you are a parent, that you bring your child up as an independent supporter, and then they go out and meet a unionist and become a unionist. And I know a couple of people.
That's why I'm laughing, Jim.
I know, because I know people whose family are unionists and they are not. Or I know with me, one of my daughters married. Actually, I'm going to get into trouble here. Okay. Anyway, here's the song. It explains it all, okay?
An easy-going fella, as anyone can see. I have a lovely wife at home and a lovely family. My 17-year-old daughter started hanging round the town and bringing boys back to the house when we are not around. Oh, there was Tommy for the football, Andy for the gym. There was Robert for the high school and a lovely lad called Jim. Well, you know that I'm no worry, 'cause she knows the law's laid down, and it's never let me see you hanging round with a you. No, I don't care about religion or the colour of their skin. I don't care about their gender, I'm a libertarian. So long as they love you and it's plain for all to see, just make sure and never bring a yoon home to me. It was then she brought him Christian. He seems a lovely guy. He doted on my daughter. She was the apple of his eye. He always smiles politely and he laughs at all my jokes. But with Christian there was something that made me want to go. No, I don't care about religion or the colour of their skin. I don't care about their gender, I'm a libertarian. So long as they love you and it's plain for all to see, just make sure and never bring a yoon home to me. Invited to his parents for a spot of Sunday lunch, so we headed up to Bearsden on the number 60 bus. They toasted us with champagne, something they called ball. I was standing next to Thatcher, she was hanging on the wall. Now call me suspicious, but I don't care about religion or the colour of their skin. I don't care about their gender, I'm a libertarian. So long as they love you and it's plain for all to see, just make sure and never bring a yoon home to me. Now I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the box, but she wears khaki trousers and bright red socks. And I've asked my daughter once or twice, are you sure he's not a yoon? But she just laughs and says, away you go, you daft balloon. Well, I don't care about religion or the colour of their skin. I don't care about their gender, I'm a libertarian. So long as they love you and it's plain for all to see, just make sure and never bring a yoon home to me. Let you try it now with me, come on. I don't care about religion or the colour of their skin. I don't care about their gender, I'm a libertarian. So long as they love you and it's plain for all to see, just make sure and never bring a yoon home to me. Thank you. I'd just like to mention Sean Moore, one of Scotland's finest poets.
Okay, so I love that song. It's really appropriate to parents. And yep, so we got quite a lot of people listening live. Welcome everybody, and thanks for being here. And I think it's really important to support our young people. And they look better on the screen because they don't have all the wrinkles, you know, and the missing teeth and all this.
Aye,
So,
right,
Robert,
Jem.
tell me about Marlene and Fiona, because they're a good team. They do indie podcasts, and I know they had you on their show. So tell us about it.
They are a good team, yes. I messaged them over Blue Sky.
Yep.
And asked them if I could do a wee slot. And they said yes, they'll get something sorted out.
Good for you.
For me. And a wee while later, she came back with how about such and such with dates and times.
Oh, brilliant.
So I said I couldn't do such and such a day, but I could do this day and this time. So I went on and spoke about Independence Live and what we could do with our time.
Aye.
And we spoke about the crowdfunder as well, which will lead me on to in a wee while. And then we just talked about live streaming and all that and different things. And then she got on to a very important one, the march and rally in Oban.
Aye.
And she asked me if I attended it. But sadly, I didn't because I was away, but I kept up on the updates as to what was happening.
Yeah.
But it looked quite good.
It was good. I was there and I was live streaming and it was raining and all, you know. But
I was just going to say, Jem, it was really wet that day.
But it was fun. And this is something that Robert's going to talk about, is that when we are live streaming, we are all volunteers and we buy our own equipment.
Yeah.
And I know people complain when there's fundraisers, but we are just normal average people, and some of us are on disability payments and all this that the government even wants to cut. And we are trying to volunteer our time for a good cause, you know. And
to try and get the message out there.
And because of Scotland's lovely weather, we often get absolutely soaking and our equipment gets wet. And we still don't give up. We just stand there in the rain and we keep on.
We just stand there in the rain, aye. That's all we can do.
And we don't ever give up. We don't end the live stream. We just keep on streaming in the rain, you know.
Going,
and I think,
just plowing through. Do you remember that one in Sky that we done?
Yeah, I remember.
That was a horrible day. I was there with Gary.
And you know, whether the wind is blowing and people are like, we can't hear you guys, and we are just buying more and more microphones and fluffy covers, and this all costs money. And what we are trying to do, and we have a really big now. We've got a lot of people in Scottish independent media, and we just encourage people, to stop watching the BBC. We are really
Yeah.
trying to, with no budget at all, and we are all
Yeah.
non-profits. We don't have advertising on there. To provide some kind of a service, because we are forbidden a public broadcaster. So we are the public broadcaster, and like one of our taglines at Independence Live is "Don't hate the media, be the media." So get
Be the
involved.
media, don't hate them. Exactly.
If you want to have a show, or you want to be interviewed, we want to, like, especially my show, I want to give a voice to sovereign Scots, so there's people
Good.
out there, get
Good.
to know them better. Very often people like hear rumors and it's not even true about a person, and that person is actually really nice. We are all the same. We are sovereign Scots. We are equal. Let's change the focus to uplifting our communities in Scotland even before we get independence. Is actually just like supporting each other, supporting Scottish businesses. And
Yeah.
Robert, tell us about rain covers for equipment.
So yeah, basically what we do is we live stream in all weathers, as James just said, and the live streamers use their iPads that's been kindly given by Kevin.
No,
And
I bought them. We bought our
oh,
iPads.
sorry, James. Sorry. They bought the live streamers bought their own equipment, and then once there's an event on, we then go out and do the marches and the rallies that I've just said. But the rain covers is a good idea because when it's raining, the cameras are just going to get soaked, and then it's not going to work. A wee while after, it's not going to work. So we need the money to we need the money to buy the rain covers.
Otherwise, we don't eat and we can't pay our council tax, and it's a big
Exactly.
problem. So it's not like anybody has to give money as such, but instead of paying your TV license and getting really pish
Yeah.
programs, we've got like over 1.6 million people in the indie movement. If everybody just gave £1 a month to various parts of the independent media, okay, and there's many of them, I'll go into that now, it would literally raise 1.6 million, and that's just
Yeah, it
£1
would.
a month. And this is instead of paying your TV license, where you just get absolute pish and bollocks and lies. And
Aye.
I could go on, but I think that sums it up pretty well. Hey, Robert?
It does, aye. It does. It sums it up really well, Jem.
I just say it like it is, I don't mince my words. So
No.
what I want to talk about is Scottish independent media is really actually quite big. And I don't know if anyone realizes how many people are involved. So let's try to name a few, Robert. We've got obviously Independence Live, and we've been around since 2013. Kevin
That
Gibney.
just leads me on. I've got it written down.
Kevin Gibney is the real hero. I don't think anyone realizes what an amazing guy he is, and such a nice guy, one of the nice people that I know. And we've got 13 shows running, and obviously since 2013, so obviously 13 is a big number for us.
Yep.
And then we've got Broadcasting Scotland. We've got the Scotland channel that started.
We've got the Scotland channel, and we've got
Saucer. We've got IndyCar, Gordon Ross. We've got the two Davies.
Yep. The two Davies. Now, I've got to plug that. They're on Davy MacInnes. If anyone doesn't know, the two Davies are on YouTube, and they're on Monday and Thursday. But Davy MacInnes does his news paper review Monday to Friday, 10:30 on YouTube.
So
make sure you're watching.
Get involved, watch these guys. And there's a guy called Mo who runs Saucer. It's SARSA. He's on YouTube as well.
Yep.
And basically YouTube is quite a powerful tool because we can all get it up there. And what I would have tried to do is a couple of us got together and started a kind of umbrella. It's called Scottish independent media. We've got a page on Facebook, and there's quite a lot of us who man it during the day.
Yep.
And what we are trying to do is affect the algorithms on social media in a positive way, in that we are literally sharing from as many independent media platforms. And you mightn't think somebody's officially in the independent media, but all the indie groups and organizations that have got Facebook pages, join them and follow them, because they are posting stuff every day, and some of it might be duplicated. Oh, Gary, it's nice to see you, and thank you
Hi,
for
Gary.
watching us. Gary Hamilton and oh
There's
my
Lorna
God, what's
just
his
come in.
name? What's his name? Gary and Stuart. Yeah,
And
Stuart.
Stuart.
They are part of the team that comes down from a little island called Seal. I hope I said it right.
Yes,
in
Island of
Oban.
Seal, yep.
And Robert is in Oban, and they were really kind, and they got Robert involved in live streaming, which is fantastic, because we really need to get everyone. So Gary owns his own business called GH Productions Argyle. So if anyone's in that area and you need something done, get in touch with Gary. GH Productions Argyle.
GH Productions Argyle.
What we are really trying to encourage people to do is support Scottish businesses. You know, a lot of Scotland's businesses is in the hands of unionists.
I'll forgive you, Eddie.
And sorry, I lost my train of thought there. They literally support Scottish businesses. You know, we've got on, whether it's carpenters, plumbers, contractors, photographers, video makers, musicians. Let's get our people supporting Scottish business, you know. And
exactly. You need to get the message out there, Jem.
Name, because it went on my head. I'm getting old and I'm getting dementia. Don't pick on me. So if you join Scottish Independent Media on Facebook, what we'll try and do is get a web page up as well, and a YouTube channel. And literally what it does is, if you guys share from there and actually go into the individual pages and like and comment, we'll get the algorithms going well. And sometimes what everybody needs to realize is that if you're not a member of a group and you share their post, it comes up as not available for anyone else. So if you don't say this is from this page, they don't know where it comes from. And this is why India is suppressed in a way. Also, if you share a post from a friend of yours and nobody else is friends with them, and it's not like made public, it's friends only, you can't see it. And this is why people are not seeing posts. So what we try to do on the Scottish Independent Media page is share everything there, tell people who the groups are, share the groups, encourage people to join them, so that we get this flow of information going. So that's what it's all about. And we want everybody to support it. So there's another guy in Independence. Obviously, we've got Indie Live Radio, okay? And then there's somebody who started with Indie Live Radio, Nori Hunter, and he's gone off and started his own thing called Caledon Radio, and he interviews a lot of people in the Scottish independence movement, like Sarah Salyers, Alf Baird, Colette. I think he's had me on there a couple of times. So they also need to do a fundraiser. Huh?
I listened into one of the shows at work.
Yeah. He's got a really great show. And, you know, I want everybody to know something. We get hacked by the British state, okay? We are infiltrated. And I'm going to be having a guy on my show called Ron Cully. Now, Ron Cully wrote a number of books, but one of them is about Willie McRae and how he was murdered by the colonial regime, okay? And it was passed off as a suicide, which it wasn't, because he was shot in the back of the head. And he was, whether he was left-handed or right-handed, it was the opposite side of his head, and then the gun was flung into the river, and he couldn't do that by himself. His briefcase full of all his precious documents was missing. So much contention. So Ron Cully also wrote a book that came out fairly recently called As Long as There Are 100 of Us, something like that, talking about infiltration of Scotland. And it's not a conspiracy theory, it's a real thing. And Scotland's been infiltrated far longer than most people realize. And this is part of the reason that the union went ahead, because after Cromwell had invaded and literally brought about this kind of commonwealth we were forced into in the 1650s, and we finally got rid of him. Some of these infiltrators remained, and there was three parties, political parties in Scotland and our Scottish Parliament. There were the Crown Party, the Country Party, and I think it's the Voltaire Party. But the Crown Party was infiltrated by English Whigs. They were in our own governments, and they were exerting influence on the nobles. And they are the ones that signed the union against the will of the Scottish people, and literally forced mafia style these nobles, a group of them, to sign it. So Ron Kelly talks about infiltration, and I think it was a couple of weeks later it came out in the news that the MI5 archives were leaked to the newspapers, the British newspapers.
Yeah.
And the government couldn't really do anything about this because they were archives and there was nothing protecting them, and they come into public notice, and it was proved that we are actually infiltrated by MI5. And all of the indie groups end up getting their websites hacked, their broadcasts interfered with, people get death threats. And this is a very real thing that people need to know about. And I'm not afraid of this colonial regime. I will actually bring it out into the public that we are getting death threats, a lot of people, and we are getting intimidated and hacked and all sorts of things. So please be aware that when we use funds that come in as crowdfunding, we are literally trying to invest in VPNs and a little bit of protection and all sorts of things. So, I mean, just everybody contributing £1 a month makes a big difference, honestly. Sorry, but I just blah, blah, blah all over the place. Carry on.
No, you're fine. That brings me nicely on to two comments that I got in this morning. From Nancy from Indie2 Cafe. So she sent me this wee thing this morning. Well, I asked her if she had any questions for me to put out there today. So she would like for the SNP to explain the list of voting. Clearly, it doesn't work. So why do they continue to tell us to vote SNP 1 and 2?
Exactly. Well done. And I want to say something that, like, we did an event, a whole group of people got together, different indie groups and organizations, over 25 of them, and run with an idea to do a protest for, excuse me for a second, a protest for Grangemouth, okay, because nobody else was doing anything, and we all don't want to lose our only oil refinery. We're sick of this asset stripping. We've lost so many of Scotland's industries, and we stood up together. So Indie2 Cafe was really fantastic. They have a Zoom meeting every night, and
yeah, to say that. Sorry, Jim.
Join Indie2 Cafe and come and get involved. It's a wonderful bunch of people, and we all spend the evening talking pish, telling jokes, singing karaoke, talking about independence, just positivity. And yeah, it's fantastic. And also involved is we are over 45%. Or we are the 45%, something like, we are more than the 45%.
45%. That's run by Henry.
Yeah, Henry's a great guy, and he's been running this for years, and he's also got something about Tune Radio or something, True Radio.
Radio or something like that. I can't exactly remember.
Yeah. But there are so many different groups, and like, for example, on Monday night we had Pat Lee from Salvo in on the Zoom meeting, and he told us all about the latest stuff that's happening with Salvo and Liberation Scott and the decolonization process. So what Pat Lee wants to do is, if all the groups can start different meetings in the area, Zoom meetings, and then invite him in instead of doing it in person and running up costs of transport and hiring venues and all of this.
Yeah.
Talk about it on the Zoom meetings. People get talking to each other. Indie on social media is suppressed, but if we move off it, and this is something that Kevin has done, Kevin Gibney from Independence Live, a lot of people have moved off Twitter onto Blue Sky. And Blue Sky has this really good thing that you can do starter packs. Now, what starter packs is, it's literally starting a little folder, okay, of like-minded people within the indie movement. And when you join, you don't have to go and follow and try and find people to follow. You just get the starter pack, and then you're automatically in with your group, and it's moved off onto, like, or still on Blue Sky, but also on WhatsApp groups. You've got all
Yeah.
your artists for indie, you've got your musicians for indie, you've got poets for indie, and getting people doing campaigns like we go out and do murals like Ireland did about independence all around the cities, that we have our poets doing stuff, we have our musicians working together with the poets using their lyrics, and
Yeah, that's right.
working as teams. And like, India is actually snowballing. It's fantastic. So everybody get on board, and literally in whatever area you are, start even if you don't do it every night, but it's actually lovely. It really is. Get a
Nice.
Zoom meeting going and get your people in there in your area, and everybody like links up, and sometimes we'll have somebody from one group in another group, and we all get to know each other. And it's not about dehumanizing anyone. It's totally non-colonial. It's about raising people up, finding out what people's talents are, getting people involved. Robert, your turn.
Okay, that leads me on to Grangemouth.
Yep.
And I read up, get rid of my phone.
Hello, Patty.
I wrote down a bit today, and I don't know if any of you know, folks, that Grangemouth Oil Refinery is set to close.
Yep, we all know this.
Well, that's good. And on Thursday afternoon, letters were sent to staff at INEOS, Oil Fins, and Polymyers UK, separate to the Petrolins closure of the oil refinery. Now, what's going on there is horrendous.
Absolutely horrendous.
Why close an oil refinery that is bigger than any other oil refinery in the UK? Right? Now, the amount of jobs that are going is really, really bad. So
yeah, people just getting retrenched, and it doesn't. Sorry, Robert, can I butt in there for a second?
yeah, sure, go on, Jim.
It doesn't just affect the workers and their families, okay? It affects the whole town of Grangemouth, okay? Every business, because people have to move out the area because there's no jobs. It will literally cause another diaspora of Scotland, like happened with the shipping yards and the coal mines, that people leave the country because they can't get jobs, okay? Like half of our bloody population is sitting in England, not because they want to be in England, because they need jobs. And people have gone to other countries. So we want to retain our youth, our workers, and all this. This closing of Grangemouth, we can allow it. It is our only oil refinery, and it's not going to happen. We are going to find a way to stop it, and we have an idea. Unfortunately, when we had the event, one of the people who was essential to the indie movement was unavailable to attend due to health reasons. They were hospitalized, and they couldn't bring a PA system. So we made
Jim, can I just interrupt there?
Plan. Yeah.
And we send our best wishes to the person that is in hospital.
Yeah, they're out of hospital now, but I made an emergency concept with sound, working on just a power bank, a Bluetooth speaker, and a microphone that I had handy, and tried to, but it wasn't good enough for the speeches and to announce our idea of how we can save Grangemouth. We do have an idea. So there's going to be another gathering of the clans at Grangemouth, and we are going to launch the idea. We'll have a better sound system. We've had some musicians happy to sing at it. And literally the police were amazing. What we did with this event, we didn't ask permission because we are sovereign Scots, okay? We are allowed to do this. And the police were fantastic, okay? They really were, and everybody was really well behaved. It was a win-win situation. And while it wasn't a hard-hitting event because we didn't have a good sound system, we're going to have it on the 29th of March. So we really encourage everybody, please come along. I know some people said they didn't know about it. And this is all about the suppression of the algorithms and social media and all this. But get the word out. 29th of March, also at midday outside INEOS. It's going to be another event. We'll have musicians. We're going to have a tug of war, which is literally symbolic of the UK government and the Scottish people pulling this the Grangemouth, who's going to win. So we're going to have a tug of war. It's really symbolic, and we're going to film it. It's going to go out to international media about the struggle of the Scottish people to hold on to Grangemouth, which is their refinery. And as Pat Lee literally told us, Grangemouth was built from the public purse, okay, and literally seized by the UK government. I mean, this is total bollocks. I'm not having it, and I don't think anyone else is having it. We need to stand up for our rights. And Robert, your turn.
And I've got one from Henry now as well.
Yep.
And how Westminster is stealing our renewables to sell it back to us at a very inflated price, as they did with our gas and oil.
Absolutely. And I think something we found out during one of the meetings that we had, the Indie 2 Cafe meetings on Zoom, is we were all doing a little bit of research while we were in the meeting and educating each other instead of just educating ourselves. Yeah. Something like 286 oil and gas rigs out there in our own seas, okay, in the north, what's it, the North Sea?
The North Sea, yeah.
And there's actually a band called North Sea Gas. And
from
they are pumping out terrific amounts of oil, like literally having tons of ships waiting. They're hauling out oil much faster than they should be. And most people don't know about this. Part of closing Grangemouth is we've been using, or not us, but the Yes movement and for the referendum was like, oh, we've got oil, we're going to be rich. And they're trying to take away our oil and crush the independence movement. Now, remember this, okay? This is not for money. It's not for honors. It is for freedom that we fight. Even if they take it away, we're not going to give up, okay? But that's why they are trying to take it away. And it's our oil. It's our oil refinery. And this guy can just take it and put it in Belgium and continue to steal our oil. It's a lot of bollocks. So I don't know what you think there. Robert?
The thing is, what are they going to do in Westminster, right? They need to come up with a plan to stop, to stop stealing our renewables. But why sell it back to us if they're stealing it?
Because they try to get us on all grounds. And Robert, like literally, this has been going on for centuries with many countries. And this is part of the thing behind Ukraine as well, that Ukraine is a mineral-rich country. And this is why America wants to get in there and like literally, steal their minerals, and treat. It's all about colonial techniques. It's about dehumanization.
Colonial techniques, yeah.
Dehumanization and psychological warfare, which includes gaslighting, lying, sort of falsifying people's history, trying to make them feel like inadequate and all of that. So there's a tremendous campaign of psychological warfare out there, and it hasn't only affected us, it's affected most countries in the world. And that's why we've got so many allies. When this thing goes to, it's gone through to Europe now from Salvov, and thank God they're doing that, and literally the 24 committee, I think it's called, is all decolonized countries, so they understand our struggle. They also had it. And I sponsor a family in Gambia. So Gambia used to be Senegambia. Oh my God, my mouth is not obeying my brain. Okay, Senegambia. And it was partitioned by the British government and made into Senegal and Gambia. Now, what Gambia was one of the first free ports. They seized Gambia. It's all around the river, the most first out part of the land. And all these people are still living in poverty because literally it's almost their version of unionists in the government. People who have been bribed, traitors to the people, are in the government and still being controlled by the British regime, and their people are still starving even though they're allegedly independent. This is the problem. So when you want to learn about free ports, learn about what they did to Gambia. Once they control your ports, you're screwed. And this is my fear for Scotland, is with the free ports, they are unlawful, and Salvo has told the companies already, issued them with letters to say this is unlawful, okay? But if we get to a point where they are actually firmly established, they have control of that land and these corporations within the huge free port zones, that transcends changes in government, that transcends independence. Free ports literally contravene EU laws, so they prevent us from joining the EU. And we land ourselves in a position where we are very vulnerable to becoming partitioned, like Ireland was, and like Gambia was, and India and Persia used to be. Iraq and Iran used to be Persia. They were partitioned. And this is how they break countries, you know. If we are partitioned, we could still get independence, but we wouldn't have access to our airports and our seaports and 78 SEZs. It's terrifying. You know, we need to move up with this independence, stop being brainwashed that we're in a dead-end situation. We're not. We have a way to get independence. Well, independence is the wrong word, actually. But if you guys all open different groups around Scotland within the independence movement, okay, you are more powerful than you could ever believe. Pat Lee can literally come in and speak to you guys, tell you what's going on, okay, and how it's going to work. And obviously, after we've got decolonization, there's going to be purchase orders, and we're going to get Scotland back. But if we wait too long, we could actually end up being partitioned. That's my fear. Robert, your turn.
Okay, so go back to Grangemouth, if that's okay, Jim.
Yep.
The additional redundancies are from the 6 parts of the business, directly providing utilities or services to the refinery. The Prime Minister announced, is it £2,000 million or something like
that? I carry on and I'll tell you. Carry on talking.
To help attract new businesses.
Yeah, I think they've offered something. There's different amounts, but I think what we need to be careful of is it's something called lip service. Okay, what lip service means is that they say stuff, but they don't do it. And it's how Labour gets into power and how Labour behaves and lies before coming into power and to get votes, and then afterwards they lie. And there are other politicians who are guilty of this as well. So they promise money, but it doesn't actually happen, or it ends up going not to help Scotland. Karen Roberts.
No. This came after the First Minister offered £25 million earlier this month.
Yep. And Robert, I just want to say I'm so proud of you, really. And
thank you very much.
If you can maybe do something like come on to Independence Live more often and do a show and literally talk to your own age group, you know, and people, there's so much that needs to be put out in the open, and facts and figures, and this is how we unbrainwash ourselves.
Because otherwise we're not going to get independence and we're going to get absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, there's this whole like kind of embargo and almost sanctions on our own history and our own knowledge of what's happened in the past, you know, and we don't have this forum of a public broadcaster to get real information out to people.
There's Eddie, just put something in there now.
Lots of people have actually educated themselves and gone and learn about things, but we need to share this information. And the way to do it is on independent media, get shows going and educate people of all age groups. Yeah,
there's a comment. They're stealing everything. All Scotland's pharmacy prescription supplies now come from hundreds of new pharmacies and distribution centres in all regions of England. Huge loss in wages here. Now, what can we say about that, Jem?
Yeah, it's just the theft of the colonial regime in every aspect of our lives. And, you know, it's even the use of words like Scottish, okay? Scottish Power, Bank of Scotland, Royal Bank of Scotland. These are not Scottish companies. They are using our name in vain, and it's identity theft, you know, it's cultural appropriation, like what just happened. Like they tried to change the definition of what whiskey was so they could steal our whiskey, and luckily it's failed. But just encouraging everybody, we don't need to watch the BBC to get what's going on in the world. Okay, we have a huge independent media. Get on board.
Yep.
If you want to be involved, like, you're so welcome, and we'll give a voice to anyone. If you want to be on my show or any other shows or anything, get involved, get to know the people who are running these organizations. The Sovereign Scot Independence Movement is the umbrella. Okay, it literally encompasses everyone who voted yes for independence. It includes all our supporters from overseas, like Germans for independence, Netherlands for independence. It's huge. And this is our actual umbrella and our vehicle, and it's so powerful that we just need to start speaking to each other and effectively sharing information, not thinking you can just share something and everyone's going to see it because they can. If they're not a member of that group or the person who's not sharing it open, they're not going to get it.
No,
Robert, your turn.
So remember tonight, folks, the Indie 2 Cafe is open from 8 o'clock on Zoom. There will be me, hopefully you, Jem, Neil, Lorna, Nancy, and Henry, and Eddie.
Yeah, and there's other people. Rosie pops in there. There's a lot of people who pop in and out the Indie Cafe. There's Gordon. There's a whole bunch of people, and you're really welcome.
Him as well.
You're really welcome, but you can also start your own Zoom meetings in your own areas for your own organizations, and every now and then we can get little people, not little people, but people popping into different
little
cafes.
People, what are you talking about?
The little people. We are the wee people.
We are the wee people, yes.
We're the wee people. We're bigger than, it's like, in Scotland, we always had this humor. And if somebody was like, in Gaelic, it's big, and, or like Donny Do, it's like dark-haired and light-haired, ban and do, and all these words, and sometimes it was used in sarcasm, so somebody could be really big and they're like, we, you know what I mean? So we the wee people, we the big people. Get out there and start your groups, start having meetings every night, and we make sure that everybody...
folks, if you want to contact me, you can contact me on my email and we can set up a Zoom call.
Are you looking for girlfriends, Robert?
Shh, no. And Zoom calls, I can set them up and we can get something sorted.
Yeah, and we defeat this colonial state. We may not have a public broadcaster, but we the people power. We are more powerful than they believe, and let's be powerful. Let's be sovereign. That was what this Grange Must thing was all about. We don't have to wait for someone to organize an event. We can do it ourselves. We don't need money. We had a free raffle and everybody loved it. You don't need this money. It's capitalism is really pure evil. I'm going to play a song and then we'll talk to Robert a little bit more. Is everyone happy with that? Any complaints? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
I'll love you in the evening when the sun is going down. I'll love you in the morning when the new day comes around. I'll love you in the springtime when the buds begin to show. And I'd love if you could love me from my head down to my toe. I love to watch you sleeping with the moonlight on your face. I love to watch you laughing, sure makes my own heart race. I love the way you listen till my worries all subside. And I love if your love could be forever at my side. I'll love you for as long as the sun shines in the sky. I'll love you for as long as the day follows the night. I'll love you for as long as there is water in the sea. And I'd love to watch our love grow from an acorn to a tree. Yes, I'd love to watch our love grow from an acorn to a tree.
So that's a really beautiful song for from Pepper Jock. I think he actually wrote that
was
for his
brilliant.
wife. But it's also a love song for Scotland, you know. I think all love songs you can actually adapt them for Scotland, you know.
Yeah. So if
Okay,
anyone's got
Robert.
any questions, I can take them now. So feel free to get messaging and I can answer any questions.
Yeah, you can read out the comments if you want. I'm good. There's quite a long comment here if you want to read it out.
Yeah, I'm just the next one up is from Kevin Campervan Rolink. We are the people, we the people will liberate our land from our oppressors. Anyone who thinks that this will never be the case, then ask a politician in Scotland if they have the bottle to upset the apple cart and disobey the way things are being done by the UK state in keeping Scotland oppressed and take control of the order of things that point the way in, giving Scotland the paperwork to end null and void Scotland's contract with the UK state and I'll bet not one of those, I think it's SNPs, will step forward. Scotland's Lib.
Okay, and then there's somebody said it sounds a bit like Michael Mara. I don't know what that means, but
I think they mean the song.
okay.
But Henry's put, we are the Indie Hive. One bee stings, stay clear of the Indie Swarm, join the Indie Swarm. That's a
Yes.
belter.
And yes, something from Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
So Gary said he loved it. Thank you. And somebody else said beautiful. Yeah, I just want to say something. We have got the most amazing indie musicians, and
Jem,
there's
can I just
a lot
interrupt
of
you there? Sorry,
Yeah,
Jem. Don't forget,
go for it.
tonight at 7 p.m, we have the TNT show on Independence Live. John Drummond will have William from Scotonomics at 7 p.m. tonight on Independence Live TNT show.
And we've also got Salvo is going to be on the, I think it's the People's Doorstop referendum or something. Patley, if you're still there, just remind me what show it's on. It's going to be on at 8 o'clock. And Sarah Saliers and somebody else from Salvo is going to be on the show and telling everybody what exactly is going on there in Europe, because we've got this French human rights organization that's assisting Scotland. And it's essential for people to watch. You can do it on Rematch. Yeah,
the question just come in. Sorry, Jem. Will you be at the Glasgow March in May?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they mean me or you, Jem, or does she mean both of us?
Everybody, yeah, we'll be there. Independence Live, even though we are half dying or starving or living in poverty, we are always at the marches. You know, this is our devotion to Scotland. And it doesn't matter whether it's raining or snowing or flooding or anything, we are always there. But it would be nice if we had a little bit of protection, because otherwise
it would be. There's Gary just put a comment up there. You're very good at this, Robert. Thanks, Gary.
You're a natural, Robert, and if you want to be on my show and be a co-presenter, you're so welcome. Honestly, I'm really familiar with
I'm happy to do that.
The background of how everything runs. We are running on StreamYard, so literally when it looks like I'm not looking at the screen, it's because I'm busy handling the comments and putting them up on the screen. And
I'm looking at the comments as well.
I still make a bollocks of everything, you know. And me and Graham went live 2 weeks ago, and we weren't actually live.
You didn't press the live button.
I did, but it brought up an error because for to go on Instagram, we are live streaming to 8 locations at the same time,
Different platforms,
and
aye.
there was an error saying it wanted a code for Instagram, so it blocked it, and I didn't notice. And
Oh,
you're
Jem.
concentrating on so many things that
Yeah,
so
guys,
we need a team.
get the like button hit. Thank you very
So
much.
we've literally got we've got a producer behind the show, which is me, and you've got the host, which is me, and then you've got the co-host and the guest today, which is Robert. I would like to bring you in, Robert, if you want to, just because of your age and everything. You're a natural, okay, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you very much for having me, Jem.
Yeah, and if you say something I don't like, I can just mute you.
Yeah, well, that's true. I try it.
Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for watching, and we love you all. And listen, independencelive.net. If you want to contribute, we're not asking for big amounts of money, okay? Nobody is. But the whole indie media, Scottish independent media, it's huge, okay? Really, we are so powerful.
We are
There's,
powerful.
I'm just going to run through it again, okay? We've got Caledon Radio. It's under caledonmedia.com, I think. Just go Google it. They're trying to do a fundraiser because they lost some of equipment when they moved further up north, and I think equipment got wet and all this in the move, and they need to get some more
comment
equipment.
just come in there, James. Sorry.
Yep.
Broadcasting Scotland is live streaming from Holyrood.
Awesome. So we're going to end off the show, but independencelive.net, there's Caledon Radio, there's Sosa. Sosa's really good. Mo is fantastic. He's really, some of us are, okay, we're all getting death threats, okay? You need to know this, okay? But
James, can I just say thank you very much for having me on.
We're not scared. We're not scared, and we're going to get out there and just say what we need to say. So
exactly. So, folks, thanks for listening. And Jem, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, it's been wonderful, Robert, and the time has flown by. So we'll get you on again.
I don't know how that's happened.
We'll get you on again, and I'm going to try and get you involved as many things as you can. Get some business for yourself, and like everybody needs business. That's what I was going to say quickly. Our musicians, guys, get out there and buy their CDs, buy their songs. These people are bloody starving and living in poverty, and they're so talented. Like. People can live off fresh air, Rather spend your money instead of a BBC license. Anyway, we're going to end the stream now. And thanks for being here. And we love you all.
Love you all, guys. See you later on, Eddie.
Bye.
While the unicorn is chained to the lion with the crown, I will never... I will never back down. With the trusty sword of truth and the shield of integrity, I will fight until I die.